Junkyard Batman. Chapter 10. The Batmobile roars like a red-eyed lion, shaking the windows of the concrete jungle that is Gotham's South Side. I pass an overturned, compact car and groups of people in PPE chatting with flashlights. Few cars are on the street because the smart people stay home. Several stragglers cheer as I speed by, their phones high, but I see them poking at their devices in frustration in the mirror as I tear through the street. It is obvious there has been some rioting, but I mostly see peaceful protesters. Seems if there was rage in them, it was spent. Many of them nurse head wounds and weep on the sidewalks as they splash their eyes with water. I can see how the escalation occurred. The national outrage over police brutality has hit a tipping point, especially if it is racially fueled. So the people took to the streets all over the country, and the police came, and two swarming crowds of fools, one broken-hearted and the other overtaxed and racist, clashed. And Riddler's people strike, delighted in the chaos. They burn police cars and amplify everything they can. I see a few of the question-marked head covers, smashing every window they see with hammers. I realize how right Al was. I'm always going to be stamping out these little fuckers. But right now there is an occupying force in my city, and they must learn that it is something Batman will not abide. This is my town. On the news, I saw the brass penguin down the street from Vicky Vale as she was dragged off camera by her hair. I know where the epicenter of the abuse is, so I head towards Gotham's uptown district. The pristine stretch of themed cocktail bars and expensive restaurants where poor people like me serve the food they can't afford. There are police cruisers up ahead. I ponder if I should gun it and just barrel through, but they spot my red headlights. Guns rise for a moment, and then lower again. The cops all look at each other until a weathered sergeant steps out, waving me forward. Maybe he thinks I'm an actual tow truck? Slowly I roll up. He eyes over the Batmobile. It's clear he recognizes it. Approaching my door, he motions for me to roll down a window. He clearly doesn't get that the tiny window in my ballistic shield door isn't something that moves. Do I risk it? Do I open the store crack and talk to a cop? A cop that certainly has orders to pounce on me for embarrassing them on national TV when they abuse citizens? Hell, I kicked one in the ass. I still have his gun. Yeah, I do risk it. They haven't fired at me, and I'm getting a promising conspiratorial vibe. I crack the door open. Through my mask, I decide to be all cheeky. Is there a problem, officer? It's what Al said a boy like me should say to the police if I'm ever pulled over. That and to keep both hands on the wheel. The weathered sergeant leans in. He's of mixed ethnicity, like me, maybe with some Hispanic. Get these assholes out of our city, he demands. Gotham. We have problems, serious, deep-rooted problems of ugly inhumanity that reflect the nation as a whole. Apathy and the permittance of evil have rotted us to our core. But we are still a city, with an identity. And the president screeches that we are thugs when he sends his own thugs into town, pulling our reporters about and beating our mothers and sons, while regulating the GCPD to just wall the area off. The police are just sitting here at the outskirts of town, sealing off a section of the playground for the militarized, nameless enforcers to do with us as they will, to send a message to other cities, to demand they submit. Submit to police brutality? Submit to families being torn? Just get as many people to safety as you can, I say with my distorted voice, and keep out of my way. He nods, satisfied. With a raise of his hand, the police clear the barricades for me to roll on through. I secure the door, and as I nudge the gas, I see that the cops are all watching me. We'll fight again. I'll kick more of them in the ass. But for tonight, at least, they are on Gotham's side. Behind me they close up ranks, shifting about nervously. And I gun it. The Bentley engine roars within as the Batmobile declares the city as its own. I'm doing almost 50 when I see the first Bearcat truck. Its back open. A few of the president's bullies are muling about. They are fatter than most police, bigger. They have no badges, random Velcro skulls on their Alice gear, and their shields are electrified with taser packs. They remind me of the hulking guards at the detention center when I was a kid, as if the president went to the federal prisons and asked for the meanest, most racist fuckers they had on offer. Someone told them they are the authority. No. Batman is the authority. And I show it to them by blaring the horn as I ram the Bearcat, ripping its front off and spinning it about. It's just a Ford anyhow. Just like all these guys, it is a flabby and simple thing wearing too much costume. I'm going to tear that costume right off. But a giant bullet hole punches through my windshield, scaring the piss out of me. Then another, much closer to my head. They've got a massive rifle on the rooftops, plugging away. An M82 or something. I swerve a bit to dodge. Another round tinks off the roof. Up ahead I see the swarm. Vicky Vale and her crew are handcuffed face down, boots on their backs. People of all varieties, fat, skinny, old, and young, of every ethnicity, have been surrounded and are being pummeled and dragged by the nameless legion. The Gestapo bastards haven't even used tear gas. They probably don't want to wear gas masks and run short of breath while beating their victims. A fourth bullet punches into the passenger door. If someone had been there, like Al or Selena, they'd be dead. I hammer the horn some more, giving everyone in the melee, victim and attacker alike, pause. Swerving the Batmobile around, I just leave it running as I charge out, the ballistic door sliding off its mount with me. Like a rogue elephant, I plow into the jackboot pricks. I yank my crowbar from my belt and crack the helmet of the nearest one. Then I shattered a teeth out of another with my shield. I hope to get them off Vicky and the others, to buy everyone a reprieve. And snipers can't shoot me in this melee. But unlike the cops, these guys pile onto me. They don't back down. They came here for violence and are hungry for what I'm offering. I snap-kick one's knee in and he rolls over. "I'm Batman!" I roar, my mask volume maxed. "Gotham is mine!" They keep coming. Two grab my shield, but I slam it down into the street and break some fingers. Another reaches for my welding visor, but I headbutt him. The bat ears at the top tear a gash out of his forehead. Every ounce of me, every bit of rage and hurt and anguish and shame distill into nitro flowing through my veins. My heart pounds it all directly into my knuckles. But it isn't enough. I'm only a man. They're climbing on my back, a few are as big as me. One has his arms around my leg like a playful toddler. The straps of my shield are close to giving. A gloved hand covers my visor. I'm going down. A rain of blows comes at me. Baton after baton cracks into me. Something breaks in my bicep. My ankle bends wrong, and numbing pain shoots up my leg to my hip. At least they are beating me. I'd rather it be me than the people. Are the cops getting the people clear? Is this enough of a distraction to get the people clear? Is Vicky Vale safe? Is her camera crew safe? I'm on the ground now, curled up. My shield is torn away. They are huffing and snarling and pounding. I'm a railroad spike, and they are the crew driving me into the ground. It occurs to me that this is what I've always wanted, since that night at the drive-in. I wanted to be on the floor, destroyed like Mom and Dad. I belong there with them. Here, maybe, they will beat me to death, and I'll finally be where I belong. It was my fault after all. If I was with them, then maybe Chill wouldn't have pulled a gun. Maybe a kid would have given him pause. I feel my muscles ease. I just let the pounding happen. This is it. I'm ready. But then one of them pulls away. Then another. And another. The last two scream as something in the night hoists them in the air and hurl them. Above me is Bane, the glorious luchador. Behind him his boys are grappling with the thugs, tearing their armor off and clubbing them with their own weapons. "Mi amigo," he declares, "thank you for revealing the sniper locations for us. Once we handled them, we could come out." Before he can lift me to my feet, another unmarked Fed charges him. In a singular, graceful motion, Bane snags him by the Kevlar, lifts the man over his head, and brings his back down upon his knee. It is the single most vulgar display of raw physical power I have ever witnessed, and I am glad not to be on the receiving end of it. Bane then offers me his hand. "My friend, come!" I take his grip in mine, and he hoists me up. A rib is floating on its own, and I'm certain my left arm is broken. He sees how badly I've been beaten. "I will help you to your truck." He has to drag me. Neither of my legs can handle my weight. He puts me on the passenger side since it is clear I can't drive. "Hold there. We can't leave yet. My luchadors need me." He can't see me blink in affirmative, but he takes off to rejoin the brawl anyhow. So I sit here, listening to it all, wondering if I did right tonight, if anything I did was of use. I'm probably going to end up in jail and be in the news. Would Vicky Vale interview me? Would she do a piece on me telling Gotham I'm just a stupid guy who did his best? Mom? Dad? I know being Batman was never smart, but was it right? It felt right. Is it over? Is this as far as it goes? I'm sorry I'm not with you. I'm sorry I asked for curly fries. Flopped like a toddler past nap time, I blink slowly as the melee unfolds in the street. Everyone is swinging. The feds, Riddlers, the luchadors, Bane, and even Vicky Vale stomps a fed's boot with her heel, handcuffed still behind her back. Selina climbs into the driver's side of the truck. The shield door is still missing, so the cat ears of her hood are silhouetted from the fires of the riot. She shifts the Batmobile into reverse and carefully pulls back, watching the side mirror. Nobody dies, and that includes running anyone over. "Can you drive shift?" I ask. Her actually being here hasn't sunk in yet. Is this another fantasy of mine? Did I have this one in the storage locker in Penguin Tower? She looks at me like I'm an asshole and shifts into first gear. Her driving isn't nearly as aggressive and flamboyant as mine. The Batmobile seems to like how she shifts a little better, honestly. It's smoother. "Don't worry about the police," I say. But am I right? Did they let me in just to catch me on my way out? No. Turns out they are busy wrangling the fleeing civilians out of the downtown combat zone. None of them even care about the black armored tow truck with bullet holes in the windshield. "Give me directions," she commands, once we are clear of the barricade. I grunt and point while we navigate the empty Gotham streets, since talking is hard. I think my jaw might be fractured. The wind whistles through the bullet holes, and I laugh at it, delirious from pain and head trauma. It's all a dull blur. But I direct her through the secret entrance behind the billboard at the back end of the yard. Al and Uncle Lou are waiting as we pull up. Al's got his medical supplies ready and a cot set up. Uncle Lou is wringing his hands. They see the shield is gone, and Selina is driving. "Other side!" she yells. Opening my door, both men gasp. Al puts a neck brace around my collar before the two men move me to the cot. "We saw on TV. One of Vicky Vale's crew got it on the camera from the street. The whole fight," Uncle Lou says as he tears open my armor. It must have been a zoom lens, out of range for my jammer. I lost my shield," I feebly whimpered to Al. "He bought it. It was the nicest thing I had. I lost it." "Well, you got a broken arm, and when I said it, you might also lose your lunch, kid. That is the only warning I get," before he tugs my arm hard from my socket and sets the bone. I'm so shocked I don't even have the air to scream. Next, Al cuts off my boot as Lou lifts my face shield and checks my eyes for shock or concussion. Tiredly, I flop back onto the cot. Selina unbuckles my chin strap and pulls my helmet free. I can see her clearly now. She's got a black eye and her face is covered with soot, but her smile is as delicious as ever. Leaning down, she kisses my forehead. I want to tell her not to. I want to tell her she's right about me and my knuckles. That I'm hateful and filled with rage and self-destruction. I almost sheared off a man's fingers and tongue, but I don't have the energy to speak as Al rolls a bandage around my ankle. "You rolled it pretty bad, but all in all, you're going to be fine, kid." He lovingly shakes the toe of my remaining boot. "Let's get you into a bath." "I got him," Selina says, struggling to hoist me off the cot. Uncle Lou steps forward to assist, but Al stops him with a hand to the chest. I can see the delight in the old codger's eyes. Yeah, just let us know if you need anything, miss. We'll serve up breakfast in the morning. She nods. I was promised pancakes. She smiles at me. We stumble up my trailer stairs, through the excuse of a living room, down the hall, and into the bathroom. Dad had torn out the vinyl tub that came standard with trailers and put in a big porcelain one with feet and everything. As a kid, I used to hear them in there giggling as he washed her hair. Selena leans me against the wall and runs the tub. Testing the water, she adjusts the knobs until she is happy. Then she squirts shampoo in so it gets bubbles. I used to love bubble baths. I had a toy rubber shark that would attack Lego boats. Gently she strips me. I watch her watching me, evaluating my muscle and squishier bits. I don't have chiseled abs or anything, but she doesn't flinch or smile, just tenderly peels off each chunk of reeking, sweat-soaked armor. Supporting me under the arm, she guides my naked self into the tub. Slowly, we ease me down into the bubbles. My God, it is so perfectly warm. She washes me, occasionally sneaking a tiny kiss in on my temple. And eventually my lips. A delicate, perfect kiss. You need rest, she purrs, pulling away. We dry me. I feel amazing despite the pain, but I am almost ready to pass out from exhaustion. Supporting me, we go to the bedroom. Oh God, the bed has never been made. Ever. And I've got books strewn everywhere and empty glasses of water on the nightstand. But she doesn't care. She just tucks me in. It's clear she won't be undressing with me. Her hoodie is even still on. Yet when she climbs into bed next to me and curls her back into me, my God, it is home. The trailer feels like a home again. I flop on my side, my busted arm delicately around her perfect waist. I tug her a little closer and kiss the back of her neck. Thank you for rescuing me, I say before falling asleep. And I don't just mean to her. I mean it to Bane and Al and Uncle Lou and all of Gotham. I wake up with the sun slicing through the yellowing plastic blinds. In the night, Selena took off her hoodie and shoes, but she is still curled next to me, buried in pillows, fast asleep. Rolling the comforter over her, I wrap her into a snuggly burrito before quietly slipping on some boxers. I've never had to be quiet in this room before. This, I can get used to. Limping into the kitchen, I light the stove and get to cooking pancakes like I promised. I want the smell to wake her, just like in a sappy commercial. It's slow going with one good arm. Stirring the batter up, my phone suddenly rings. I forgot about the thing because I never use it, and it startles me. Yanking it from the wall-mounted receiver, I annoyedly whisper, "Hello?" Bruce, there's someone here to see you." "Gordon?" "No, someone else. He's pulling around to your trailer. I could have tried to stop him, but he seems the type to persist. He's polite, but, I hear the gravel out front crunch with the approach of a vehicle. Hanging up the phone, I rush to the stove and turn down the burners. I'm making pancakes here, damn it. If it isn't Gordon, then who is it? I can't risk walking back into my bedroom for a shirt and socks. It will definitely wake Selena. So I opt to go full trailer park and open my front door in my boxers. It's a black, long limo, a traditional-looking one. I expect the driver to come out, but it appears the passenger in the back is able to exit all by himself like a big boy. My guest is handsomely dressed with soft eyes and a groomed beard. I recognize him as the councilman from the news that Vicky Vale was interviewing. Councilman Roz, was it? He nods politely at me. I was hoping to scare off whomever with my marvelous dog-bone boxers, but he is unfazed. Approaching, I can tell he is eyeing my kaleidoscope of bruises and welts from last night. My arm is stiff, but I try not to coddle it by my side. "Mr. Bruce Wayne, it is my honor to meet you in the flesh, sir." He says it genuinely. The councilman means it, but I still know when I'm being sized up. I gimp down the trailer steps and walk to him. The gravel hurts, but the bottoms of my feet are like leather, and I want to smell this guy. And, honestly, he smells terrific, like, really good. "What can I do for you?" I ask. He gives a slight bow, but then offers his hand in a more traditional greeting. My right shoulder hurts as I try to raise my hand to him, so he waits patiently as my hand finds his. His grip is firm, but he doesn't do the little shake that men do. "I'd like to extend to you, in person, how impressed I am both with your will and your detective abilities," he starts. Oh no. Oh no! This is the guy. He's the boss of the Penguin Ninja, and subsequently the whole chain down, including Joker and Riddler. The city councilman? But why? How could... Then it snaps into place. Next year is the mayoral election. This fucker has caused so much chaos through proxy that the current mayor's popularity is on fire. Ra's sunk meth and viral conspiracy dogma so effectively into Gotham that it will be begging for him. And since he delivered the diseases, he can most effectively deliver the treatments. My God, he's a monster. Even without a broken arm, I wonder if I could take him. There's something dangerous about this man's gentle posture. And as I ponder any chances of making him eat gravel, the limo's driver's side door opens. Out steps the Penguin, in a conservative black suit and chauffeur's cap. He winks at me and walks to the trunk of the limo to fetch something. It's my ballistic shield. Raz extends his palm toward it. "A gift. I return this to you. Astounding how the simplest tools are often the best, yes? Like lies and deception, tools to be the mayor of Gotham," I fire back. Raz nods as he hoists the shield from Penguin's gloved hands. "Mayor is the start, Mr. Wayne. I hope to have you present through my entire journey. Police can be bought and corralled, politicians can be blackmailed, and citizens intimidated. But then there is you. Batman, the man who pulls so hard on a loose thread that the entire sweater becomes a pile of worthless yarn." He hands me the shield. With my good arm, I take it. "I'm going to bring you down," I snarl. Unflinching, he nods. "Do your best. I need someone worthy to make me earn my power, and the chaos you've incited has aided me astoundingly, for which I am grateful. But worry not, Mr. Wayne. Never will I harm your loved ones or invade your domain." He gestures at the junkyard around him, but it isn't sarcastic. The man sees this as my turf. "This is my only visit, given we couldn't meet last night." With a wave of his hand, Penguin returns to his limo, holding the door for his master. "You're a madman." Raz shakes his head. "I'm neither a zealot or madman. I'm Raz Al Ghul, and you shall be seeing much of me." Stepping away, he returns to his limo. The Penguin shoots me a grin after the door closes. He looks forward to our rematch. As I pull away, I find myself gripping my battered, bloody shield like a teddy bear. This isn't a meth dealer or a cultist hacker. I am in way, way over my head. And so is Gotham. But Batman is here, and he will defend to the last.